Hey, welcome World Entertainment. And is Batman Brave and the Bold on hold? Andy Muschietti came out apparently and said it's on hold until the Paramount merger goes through. Well, James Gunn has now come out and said, no, it's not on hold. And nothing's on hold. Now remember one very important thing that I've always said. You have to listen to what he doesn't say. That is always what is the most telling part. So, a report came out that Andy Muschietti did a talk with some podcaster or something and was asked about Batman Brave and the Bold, and he flat out says Batman, everything Brave and the Bold is on hold until this merger goes through. And now people obviously sent this to Gunn and said, is this true and stuff, and Gunn has responded in kind. He also kind of throws shade at Muschietti. Look, I think Muschietti is out. I don't think he's going to direct this. I think as soon as James Gunn turned around and took the movie pretty much away from him, said, I'll write it, and Andy won't have any input in the story and stuff, and he'll be the first to see it. I think that was the sign that Muschietti won't be directing this. But let's take a look at this, because this is strange for what he says regarding other DCU projects. So James Gunn says the DCU's Batman movie, The Brave and the Bold, is not on hold. Nothing at DC Studios is, he says. Now, keep in mind, it's what he doesn't say. You always have to look at that. So, and the man who recently made the claim now walks it all back and says Andy Muschietti was out of the loop and only insinuating it in Spanish weeks ago outside a movie theater. So this, I believe, is the guy who said that he spoke with Andy Muschietti, and Andy Muschietti flat out said, like, everything's on hold with Batman. So none of it puts a DCU Batman in the suit. On Sunday, it was reported that filmmaker and commentator Dan Marcus posted that Muschietti told him all work on The Brave and the Bold is on hold until after the merger is settled. So it's funny, that's how he said it. And yet now he's saying this. Oh, he's out of the loop and he was only insinuating all this crap. On Monday, a fan on Trades showed Gunn the screenshot and asked, care to debunk this? Gunn did. It doesn't sound like something Andy would say, but the project is in no way on hold. In the same thread, another fan asked whether the DCU projects in development are on hold because of the merger. Gunn, no, nothing is on hold. And once again, you have to listen to what he doesn't say, because the question is very important to his answer there. No, nothing is on hold. But what was the question? The question was, are DCU projects in development on hold? And Gunn says, no, nothing's on hold. Because that's the key thing right there. He's right. There's things that are already in production are not on hold. He can't announce new things because all of that is on hold. Because David Ellison has final say. If a budget goes over 30 million, he has final say. And anything to do with casting in terms of how long a contract is, Ellison has the final say. So when he says no, nothing's on hold, yeah, he's correct for what's already in production. So Clayface, obviously they'd still be doing some post-production work on that, so that's obviously not on hold. Man of Tomorrow, that's already filming, that's not going to be put on hold. They've just said yes to the Gorilla Grodd Jimmy Olsen pile of shit. That's clearly not on hold. That was already in development before all of this merger stuff anyway. But then that's it. You know, there's nothing else has been announced. Now, he's saying Brave and the Bold isn't on hold, but are you sure, James? Because nothing new about Brave and the Bold has come out at all since Christina Hodgins took over. Absolutely zero. But you haven't cast him, Batman that is, which means you can't cast him without Ellison's consent. So keep that in mind, people. He can't actually he can write it, because that's all they're doing right now, is writing the film, supposedly. So when he says that's not on hold, yeah, that's correct. Putting it into production and casting it, you notice he didn't say that. He didn't say, no, we're still very much actively looking for our Batman, Bruce Wayne. He doesn't say that. He just says, no, it's not on hold. It's on hold. But around the same time Monday, Dan Marcus posted a clarification on X saying, my suspicion is that Andy Muschietti is unaware of the current status of The Brave and the Bold. He spoke with my friend and me about this a few weeks ago, so either he is out of the loop or there have since been updates. I asked my friend to clarify because they spoke Spanish and my friend translated. So, who got it wrong then? Your friend who translated it back to you, or Andy Muschietti? It's very kind of all over the place. This guy fucked up, basically. He put out this whole article, this trade thing saying, Andy Muschietti told me personally, this is the first time he's brought up a friend and speaking in Spanish. He said he told me personally when I sat down with an interview with him. I asked him specifically about Batman Brave and the Bold, what's happening, and he flat out says everything Brave and the Bold right now is on hold until the merger goes through. That's not exactly misspeaking, is it? But now the guy is stepping back and going, actually, he spoke Spanish to my friend and my friend translated it to me, and it sounds like he's out of the loop and he's insinuating it and all this bullshit. And it's like, but you said nothing about your friend. You said you spoke with Andy Muschietti. Either way, Andy Muschietti is out of the loop. Why? Because he's probably not even directing this movie anymore, and he has no say in the story. He doesn't even know what the story is, because James Gunn flat out says, yeah, Andy has no input in this. All the rest, we'll write it and he'll be the first to see the script. That's Andy Muschietti's position. So he's probably very much not going to direct this thing. This thing probably is never going to happen anyway, because once this merger goes through, and it will go through, they're going to pull the plug on this. It's not going to move forward. So Man of Tomorrow is James Gunn's last big hurrah. So brace yourselves for probably 150,000 cameos. He's already apparently thrown everything, including the kitchen sink, into Man of Tomorrow, because he knows it's his last hurrah. Everything with a particular budget that hasn't been worked on already and isn't cast is on hold. Brave and the Bold, he wants to say it's not on hold. The writing end of things may not be on hold, but your casting and want to go into production very much is, because once again, it's what he doesn't say. He didn't say we're looking for our Batman. He didn't say we're scouting locations. He didn't say we have a start date to shoot in mind. He just said, no, it's not on hold, when someone simply said, is it on hold? They're all full of shit. All of them. So, will this movie actually happen? Probably not. Do we want it to happen? For content, probably. But realistically, God no. A James Gunn, Christina Hodgins written Batman movie with Damian Wayne? Fuck no. But let me know what you guys think. Did you see the story about Andy Muschietti saying it was on hold? Do you think he's still going to be filming this thing, especially after this? Do you think this movie will ever actually happen and see the light of day? Let me know. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like and share and subscribe and hit that hype button and all of that good stuff. Cheers, and I shall catch you in the next one.